You are Locked On Dodgers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Dodgers Postcast. I'm going to start a little bit early tonight as this one is in the refrigerator. The Jell-O is jiggling and the eggs are chilling or whatever. I almost said Vince Scully. That was not a Vince Scully thing. That was a Chick Hearn thing. Whatever Chick used to say, that's the way this game is right now for the Dodgers. It is on ice. 8-1 in the bottom of the eighth. Runner on, one out, but it is over and done with. I am Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers Postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. The place to hang out when every game is done, literally or figuratively. You can also listen to us wherever you find your podcasts on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. Thanks for making us part of your everyday routine. We appreciate the everydayers who make us your first listen with the Locked On Dodgers podcast, and then after the game with me on the Locked On Dodgers postcast, your second listen. Tonight, to me, felt like a game. We've seen this occasionally of late where the Dodgers just didn't seem all that motivated or interested for whatever reason. And I know Jeff and I go back and forth. Jeff, host of the Locked On Dodgers podcast, that they want to win every game, and they seem interested and are concerned and motivated to win every game. And I agree with that sentiment. You are correct, Jeff, that they do want to win every game, but it's a long season and they just can't win every game. It's not going to happen. And there are times when, for whatever reason, they are mentally not into the game. And tonight was one of those nights. It's got a nice little break for Freddie Freeman, hit a lazy fly ball to center field, and the Giants right fielder and center fielder almost ran into each other and the ball landed between them. So a gift double for Freddie Freeman, although that should be an error because they both could have caught the ball. They were kind of doing the, no, you get it. No, you get it. Excuse me. And so forth. Okay. So Craig has the Chick Hearn thing. The eggs are cooling and the butter is getting hard. The Jell-O is jiggling. Thanks, Craig. It's been, how long has it been since Chick Hearn used to say that? 35, 40 years? Yeah, that was classic Chick Hearn right there. The eggs are cooling. The butter is getting hard. The Jell-O is jiggling. Well, the Dodgers are rallying. Yes, it's now 8-2. Not over yet, but it's been over for a while. I couldn't even put together a Diamond Dogs list tonight. Yeah, I don't know that Freddie deserves to be on it for that. The first Dodger run came on a bases loaded walk in the first inning. And I was like, does that deserve to be on the Diamond Dogs list? No. I mean, maybe. But ultimately, I didn't have a choice. I had to put it on there, and it is on there. So we'll get to a very short Diamond Dogs list here in the second segment, as we normally do. I don't know. I think this is just bound to happen. This is one of those things that you just chalk up to. It's a long season, and you can't win them all. And look, this guy, Robbie Ray, the bottom line about him is the Dodgers have never fared all that well against Robbie Ray. They've always had an issue with him. I don't exactly know why he would get pulled in the fifth after not giving up a hit with 8 Ks and just 86 pitches. He's got a 1.8 ERA. I mean, the guy is tough to hit. So that's part of it. And I feel like the Dodgers, just one of those off nights, Page Turner. There's not much to say. No hits until is that right? No hits until the 7th inning. This game just did not capture my attention at all. I guess this is one of those things where we are lucky that we can do this from home and don't have to be in the press box really ever. I mean, we can go if we want, but I don't see the point. Occasionally, once or twice, I think I'm going to try to squeeze in a couple of games here down the stretch at the field, at the ballpark, because you get a lot of information talking to the guys and Dave Roberts and so forth. But this was one tonight where I am grateful for Locked On Sports and the fact that I can be at home and not have to be in that press box watching this dog of a game. End of the 8th inning, Giants now up 8-2. Something that happened last night that kind of continued a little bit tonight for the Dodgers was first pitch strikes from the starting pitcher. They made a point about it last night with Landon Knack, who, by the way, was deactivated, I believe, or sent down or something. Not on the big club anymore because they had to make room for Tyler Glasnow, Clayton Kershaw, and Nick Ahmed, who they acquired today, former San Francisco Giant. And I was like, wait a second, where do I know that name? And he's been a Arizona Diamondback, but most recently with the San Francisco Giants. And the last time the Dodgers faced them in San Francisco, Nick Ahmed was on that squad, but had been released. So he'd been on the beach since July 7th and brings a .232 batting average to the ball club. He has a grand total of 36 hits, 13 runs, 155 at bats, 6 doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run, and 15 RBI. His last 5 games have produced a grand total of 2 hits. So safe to say they didn't acquire Nick Ahmed to be an offensive threat on this team. They acquired him because they need defensive help after Miggy Rojas goes on the IL yesterday. So Mookie's down. Now Miggy's down. They needed to find a defensive guy, and this guy, very good defender, not a great hitter, but a very good shortstop, and that's what they needed. Although I think Kike Hernandez might have something to say about that. Been playing very good at shortstop and third base when he gets the opportunity. Right now, just made a fantastic barehanded play at shortstop on a ball that was not struck all that swiftly to get the runner out. So he's a good defender. I don't know that Nick Ahmed's going to be around all that long. He's obviously filling a gap right now that the Dodgers need to have filled. And that's good. Good for him. Always like it when guys are out of work and they get another opportunity to play some more baseball. It's got to be tough at times when you're a guy like Nick Ahmed. I always say that I don't feel sorry for managers and coaches when they get fired, because generally speaking, especially when you're a head coach or a manager of a baseball team, you've got a 5-year deal. You're getting paid a crap ton of money. And when you get fired, you get paid most of that money. You don't get left out on the street, right? But a guy like Nick Ahmed's not making a ton of money. I think his salary is decent, though. I think I saw $6 million or something like that. So, I mean, unless he's a complete buffoon with his money, he's saved up, but he's fine. You just like to see that story, another opportunity, because it could be the end of Nick Ahmed's career. I don't believe he's all that young. He is 34. So yeah, he's definitely on the downside of his career. So another opportunity for him is nice to see, especially for the Dodgers as they're facing the Giants. That was kind of the cool part for me. I'm like, wait a second, he was just a Giant, now he's on the Dodgers. Well, did this happen today? Was he on the Giants yesterday and now he's on the Dodgers? But no, it was July 7th, the last time that he played for the Giants. So it's been a little bit, a couple weeks. But anyway, the first pitch strike stat for Landon Knack yesterday, not good. 9 out of 20, only to be outdone today by Tyler Glasnow, who I thought was okay. Fair is how I described it in the notes. It wasn't terrible, wasn't dominant, but I guess that's what you get when you come off the DL and you haven't pitched for a little while. But 8 of 21 first pitch strikes today for Tyler Glasnow. And, he's usually better than that. I mean, as far as first pitch strikes, getting ahead of guys, let's not forget, it wasn't too long ago and he was dominating this rotation. He was the best guy out there and it wasn't close. So hopefully he gets back there real soon, because the Dodgers absolutely need him. Top of the ninth, 2 outs. Dodgers will get their final at bat to try to, scrape out a couple more and not get completely embarrassed as they head to the bottom of the ninth. Right now, it is still 8-2 with 3 outs to go for the G-men to get on. Did I just say the G-men? That's what fans say. I'm sorry. The gents, the hated ones, etc. They'll get on the board in the series. And then tomorrow, the Dodgers will look to win this series, and the Giants will look to split the series. This is the Locked On Dodgers Postcast. I'm Pete Fox. Thank you for joining me, covering sports in LA since 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. You can, again, watch us on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel or listen on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. That's where you find Jeff and Vince doing the Locked On Daily Dodgers podcast Monday through Friday. We'll take the break, come back, and get to the Diamond Dogs list. Very, very, very short, abbreviated Diamond Dogs list after this. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers Postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. That's right, Booking.com. Yeah, with summer travel heating up, especially travel for baseball games. It doesn't have to be Major League Baseball games. It could be Little League Baseball games. It could be minor league baseball games. But the bottom line is it's time to explore those cities you always secretly wanted to learn a little bit more about. Yes, we're talking about your rival's city with hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com. You might just find your perfect stay even in your baseball rival's city. I use Booking.com on our European trip, and it was just a one-night stay near the airport in Rome, something that we could check in, sleep, and get up early in the morning and be close to the airport. And it was very affordable, and it was as close to the airport really as you could get other than being on the property. It was very convenient. It looked nice. It was a B&B. Everything about it was great. So I just booked a room with a queen size bed and logged in to check in for me, my wife, and my daughter. And the lady, the host, was like, yeah, you booked a room for 2 people. You need a room for 3 people. And I was like, well, can't you sleep on the floor? And she's like, no, it's tile. There's nowhere to sleep. We need to put another bed in the room. So she walked me through the whole process of canceling my reservation and making a new reservation for a different room with 3 beds in it. And she was great. I was very glad that I found this B&B on Booking.com because the host was fantastic. So I've that, and that's not my only good experience. That's just my most recent one. From hotels that overlook stadiums to family-friendly resorts, Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. and the world for that matter. For your summer travel this Major League Baseball season, the right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com on the site or on the Booking.com app. Tonight's show also brought to you by our friends at PrizePicks. What is PrizePicks? Well, it's a whole lot of fun. It's also America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. Is just you against the numbers. You pick more or less, fewer, on more than 2 to 6 players and their stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. They've got the demons and goblins going. The newest and most exciting way to play PrizePicks. Squares marked with red demons or green goblins get you different payouts. The red demons are a little bit harder and therefore they pay more. Green goblins are a little bit easier and they pay a little bit less, but winning is winning in my opinion. And I like those green goblins. You can now win up to 100 times your money with as few as 4 correct picks if they're all red demons. If you have some huevos and you're going to pick 4 red demons, that could pay off very well if you hit it. They've also got promotions like on Tuesday, lowering stat projections, and on Friday, entry fees can be returned to you if you lose. PrizePicks is available in more than 30 states across the United States, including California, Georgia, and Texas. Quick deposits and easy withdrawals. My initial deposit was super painless and hassle-free. And if you go to PrizePicks right now and use the code LOCKEDONMLB, that's right, LOCKEDONMLB, you get a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks.com, LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. All right. The boys in blue, thanks to a little Austin Barnes single, got something working here in the 9th. 2 on, 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Still think the game is over, but they're showing some life, which is good to see. It's encouraging. So you leave this game with a positive thought in your mind. I don't normally start this early, but I've been told by the powers that be, hey, if the game is, out of reach, it's over. You can go ahead and start a little bit early. Yeah, maybe this is reverse psychology that's working right here. I got the Dodgers rallying here in the ninth. Kevin Biggio at the plate. The Diamond Dogs list tonight features just 3 things, because I'm going to go ahead and put Barnesy on there for that little single right there in the 9th inning. So let's say he's number 5. Austin Barnes, a single in the 9th, as he's been hitting pretty well. I mean, what's the Austin Barnes batting average? He is at, what did he hit for? He's batting 270. He's having a good season as a backup catcher, a guy that they don't care if he hits at all, really. If he's batting 150, they'd be like, that's fine. But got a home run a couple of nights ago against the Red Sox. That was nice to see. So he's definitely squaring the ball up and having a good season. As for number 4, let's put Andy Pages there. The bases loaded walk in the first. That got the Dodgers the lead. 1-0, but it was not a base hit. They did not have a hit until the 7th inning. Thank you, BC, for pointing that out. Number 3 or number 1, because I don't have anything else. Chris Taylor, a 2-out double in the 7th, the first pitch sinker, and he roped it. So Chris Taylor continuing to square the ball up, make good contact, and put balls in play. Seems like his approach is a whole lot better. I still see him late a lot, but it's getting better for sure. His numbers are respectable if you get rid of those first couple of months. So that's good to see. And they definitely need him. He's got I don't want to say it's a fantastic glove, but it's very good. He is a quality major league infielder. And is that a double play? Yes, it is. Yes, no, it's close. Kevin Biggio beats the throw. So not a double play. Still alive. Another run in, I believe. That 8-3. Runner on first, 1 out. Kike at the plate on his bobblehead night. That's got to be one of the coolest things. I feel like there's been a Kike Hernandez bobblehead night before tonight, but that would just be the coolest. I've had some cool things happen in my career. I've had my face on multiple t-shirts, mostly caricatures, that were done for entertainment and giveaways and so forth. And there's the double play, game over. Giants win at 8-3. But having a bobblehead is not something I have been fortunate enough to experience. That is another level. And I worked with some guys that had a bobblehead at 710 ESPN in LA, Mason in Ireland. If you're in LA, you probably have heard of them. They've been around forever. They had that bobblehead, I don't know, like 30 years ago. And it's the creepiest freaking bobblehead because it's a double-sided bobblehead. Like most bobbleheads are one person. James Outman had one this year with, I think it was Miggy Rojas, but it was 2 guys on the same little base. Like it was a double bobblehead, but it was 2 different figures. Like the one of my former colleagues, Mason in Ireland, there was one figure, one person, and the head had 2 faces. One side was Mason, the other side was Ireland. It was so freaking creepy. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not on that bobblehead. That was ugly. You know what else was ugly? Last night, the umpire. I didn't get to this because we had other stuff to talk about. Kind of missed it. Wasn't really all that impactful to the game. The Dodgers did end up winning last night. So yeah, it didn't cost them the game or anything. But that umpire, and it's gotten to the point with the framing that the umpires are falling for it more regularly. And like Joe and Oral or whoever's on the call, it's gotten so ridiculously bad that they don't even mention it anymore. They kind of just laugh and scoff and go, there you go. Another one. Like there were 3, if not 4. I wrote the note down. There were 3 strikeouts of Dodgers on balls that were a good 2 to 3 inches outside of the strike zone, outside of the box on the screen. And it's getting worse. yeah, if the catcher's good at framing, the umpires are falling for it. And I think it is preposterous that they allow them to do that. And that the umpires fall for it. I mean, the more we see this, the more we see horrible umpiring. That's right, Craig. It was horrible. I don't know about tonight. Didn't seem too terribly bad, but there's always one or two that's like, that's not a strike. That's not a strike. And with the technology that is available to us, we shouldn't have to deal with that. And catchers framing shouldn't be allowed. I mean, excuse me. Or it shouldn't matter. I mean, go ahead, frame all you want, right? With a robot umpire, it's not going to matter. It's like, that's a strike or it's not. Simple. Like, frame it all you want. Like, it doesn't matter because it really technically, the strike zone is before the catcher catches the ball. It's when it crosses the plate. The catcher is usually what? Maybe a foot behind the plate. So obviously that's a fraction of a second to the naked eye or less. But it's not going to matter when they have robot umpires, right? It doesn't matter. Frame all you want. Go for it. Have fun. Make yourself look cool. The other night, I think it was last night, Will Smith tried to frame a pitch, missed the ball, got a wild pitch, not a wild pitch, a pass ball. So it didn't work out to his benefit. It actually cost him. So 3 bad ones last night, maybe more. It was just like awful. Like, how are we letting that happen? It should not happen. Call it strike is a strike. It's not a strike, not a strike. Very, very simple. Roy has a comment here about Glasnow. 2 games in a row. Glasnow did not look good. Our young arms win games and our vets will let us down. Yeah, you're right. He hasn't looked great, but look, let's give him a little bit of a leeway here. He's just coming off the IL and, he hasn't pitched in a while. So I'm going to give him a break today. I didn't think he was terrible. We'll get to the numbers a little bit right after this break. But he made it through 5, suffers the loss, didn't have great command, had some strikeouts. So we'll break it down a little bit more right after the break. I didn't think it was terrible. Let's put a grade of like B-, C+, maybe. I guess if you lose, you don't deserve a B. So C+ for Tyler Glasnow. We'll get to the numbers after the break. I'm Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast. Dodgers fall to the Giants, snapping a 5-game winning streak. 8-3 the final. Dodgers now 61-42, 33-20 at home. Giants win number 49 for them versus 54 losses. They're 21-32 on the road. You can watch us on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done or almost done. And you can listen wherever you find your podcasts on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. Tonight's show brought to you in part by our friends at Game Time. You know, I'm a big fan of Game Time. I use it frequently for buying tickets. I look there first before I look anywhere else. And the main reason for that is, where are my notes? Where is my script? I can almost do this one by heart, but I know there's a script somewhere. Where is that damn script? Oh, well, I can't find it. I thought I pulled it out. That's the PrizePicks script. Damn it. Anyway, one of the great things as I look for the script about Game Time is all-in pricing, which is cool. Views from the seat. And if you have the huevos to wait until an hour before the game, you can save up to 60% on your tickets, which I love that. Now, when I take my wife to a game, probably wouldn't work because she wouldn't appreciate the uncertainty of waiting that long to find out whether or not we have tickets at all and whether or not they're good and whatnot. But if you go with a friend, like a buddy, who's kind of in it to win it just for the fun of it, that would be a cool way of handling it, right? Save yourself some money. And another thing that I absolutely love about Game Time is the views from the seat. That is another very, very cool feature that works when you are taking your significant other, because you can see exactly what you're going to be seeing from your seat. So that's a bonus and a great thing that comes along with Game Time. The lowest price is guaranteed. or Game Time will credit you 100% of the difference. And Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem this code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. All right, Dodgers fall 5-3. It snaps a five-game winning streak for them. Tyler Glasnow got the start, first start off the IL, hasn't pitched in quite a while. He went 5, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, gave up a home run to Matt Chapman. It was a solo shot off a fastball right in the tender spot of the zone, a little high, and home run hitters like Matt Chapman love that. So Tyler Glasnow did him a favor. Let's be honest. Matt Chapman has been struggling mightily in the month of July, batting 167. So Glasnow throwing him a fastball up in the zone was just too easy, and exactly what Matt Chapman was looking for at that point. Then Chapman had a leadoff walk in the 8th that kind of ignited a rally. He was 2 for 3 on the day. With 2 RBI. Ramos had 2 RBI, going 1 for 5. Soler was 0 for. It's been nice that the Dodgers have been able to keep him in check. Last time they faced off in San Francisco, he kind of worked them over with a handful of doubles. A couple of hits for Yastrzemski, Conforto, Fitzgerald today, just 1 hit. He's been red hot, and his home run streak of 5 consecutive games with a round tripper comes to an end. And Bailey, a pinch hit RBI off the bench for the Giants. They finished the night with 9 hits. Dodgers had 5 hits, 3 runs. Giants win it 8-3. So all in all, the Glasnow outing I think was decent. It was okay. 5 innings again, 2 runs on 4 hits. Struck out 4. Curveball. The last strikeout came on a 4-seamer. 91 pitches. The ERA now 3.47. Bonda came in for an inning and a third, had 3 Ks, so that was a solid outing there. Yohan was ugly, and I feel like we haven't seen a good outing from Yohan in quite a while. I know a lot of you guys are not fans anymore and feel like when he comes into the game, it's a bad call by Dave Roberts and somebody else could be a better decision. So he gave up 5 runs on 3 hits, and that was late. That was in the 8th when it was just absolutely out of control, and the Dodgers couldn't figure out a way to put a finger in the dam or stop the bleeding. And Yohan took the brunt of it. Joe Kelly gave up 1 run on 2 hits, and Ryan Yarbrough 1 K and a bunch of zeros. So decent outing from the bullpen. Mr. Seabat, a former catcher, has a comment. As a former catcher, I totally disagree. Framing is an art, and when done right, it is a beautiful thing. Mr. Seabat, I could not agree with you more. I agree. I think it is brilliant to watch. I think it's enjoyable and very pretty and not easy to do. It is very, very, very hard. The timing has to be so precise. I agree with all of what you said. It is an art, but it's not an art that should be practiced at the major league level, right? Because it's not a strike. At the major league level, do it in college, do it in minor leagues, do it anywhere else, not at the major league level. It should not be allowed. We are playing for higher stakes. There's too much on the line to have an umpire fooled by a catcher who's very, very adept with his hands. I agree completely. It is such an art, but it's not something that should be practiced at the major league level. Strike should be a strike. It's a strike or it's not. There's no gray area. We don't have to worry about that anymore. It's not 1924 anymore. We don't need to wonder. We know exactly what a strike is and what a strike isn't. And when they have the robot umpires, no one's going to know the difference because there'll still be a human back there who has an earpiece in, and he will get a beep for a strike and a buzz for a ball, or maybe a word, ball, strike, whatever. He still has to call safer out. He still has to call hit by pitches. He still has to call other things. So there's still going to be a human back there. But if it's a strike, it's a strike. If it's a ball, it's a ball. It's that. That's it. We don't need to worry about it. We don't need to be fooled by fancy catchers anymore. Sorry, but I agree with you. It is an art, and I love watching it. When I coached high school ball, if you had a good framer behind the plate, did the pitcher so much benefit. It was fun to watch. It's cool at a lower level, but not at the major league level. Save it. Dodgers fall 8-3 again, 61-42, 33-20 at home. Giants are 49-54, 21-32 on the road. As for good performances from the Dodgers at the plate, not a whole lot of anything tonight, really. I mean, it was sparse. Pages had a hit and a run scored along with an RBI. That came with the bases loaded walk. Freeman a hit and an RBI, and hits for Barnes and Chris Taylor. That was a double, and Nick Ahmed, first day on the Dodgers, gets his first hit with the boys in blue, so that is nice to see. They wrap up the series tomorrow. The Dodgers look to take the series, winning 3 out of 4. Clayton Kershaw back on the mound. Kershaw Day tomorrow for the Dodgers. That'll be nice to see, so I'll join you right after the game. It starts at 1 o'clock. Make sure you're here right after. Join the everydayers. Locked On Dodgers Postcast. The place to hang out when every game is done is the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. You can also listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. Don't forget to check out Jeff and Vince either later tonight or first thing tomorrow with the Locked On Dodgers Daily Podcast. I am Pete Fox. Thank you for joining me. Have a good night. We will talk again tomorrow afternoon.